So, God really does put things in your life so you know, even just random knowledge. What I'm talking about is that my ex-husband used to be an arborist or a tree climber, and he'd go up and trim trees. And he taught me a lot about trees. I know a lot, like when you're trimming a tree, the best way to trim it, how to start it, where to take the most off at, where to take the least amount off at, branches that need to go when they need to go. And so, this is just random knowledge that I have. And I see why now. And one thing about when you're trimming trees, you're not supposed to take more than 30% of the tree at one time. Because if you go into one tree and you start just cutting away at it, and you take more than 30%, you send that tree into shock, and that tree could die from that. And one thing we were talking about, I was just talking to a friend, I said one thing we talked about is when a tree is planted, the tree is already inside the seed. It's already planted, and it's going to grow into a tree. Now through the life of that tree, depending on where it's planted, like say you got a tree next to your house. You got a tree next to your house, and you're like, oh, well, that tree's eventually going to get big, and you're going to have to cut such and such branches off of it because it's going to grow into your house, grow over your house, and you're going to have branches on top of your house. And it's the best practice is to cut that tree, that branch, whenever it matures enough, to just cut that branch off when it's little. That way it doesn't become a bigger problem later. But when you don't do that, you get trees that are overgrown, and then it's harder and harder to take those branches out. And I know we've all seen these overgrown trees, and you see them and they're huge, and the canopy's all big and green, and then inside of it, it's got a whole bunch of dead branches that are just hanging there. Like they're dead. They're dead. And the longer you let a tree go, the harder it is to fix that tree and make it look good. But if you start when the tree is young, you can cut stuff away as you see it starting to grow. And you can shape that tree into what you want it to look like, or what it should look like. So, we are the mighty oaks. In the Bible, we're the trees that God has planted. We all have branches that need to be cut away. That way other branches can grow. That way we don't end up with dead branches hanging all over us.